video of how to make a eco-friendly floral wreath was interrupted by a salesman selling beef. It's never happened before. Oh my goodness. So I apologize. Anyway, let's dive right in as if we'd never been interrupted. So I've made the wreath, and you can see that on my other live stream. I just made sure it was posted on how to make your base. Okay, so we're not going to go over that. All I will say is that it's ready. So let's put you on the tripod, the phone camera on the tripod, and see how we can go about this. Shall we? And I'm going to make this so that I can see any questions you have, and we will see if I can learn how to operate a camera while making a beautiful wreath. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, there we go. And flip this around so you can see the wreath making as it happens. Under the maple trees. Here we are. There we go. Okay, so this is how we're going to make our wreath. It's all set. The moss is damp. And if you have any questions, please ping them in the comments below on the video, and I will come back and answer them. I'll check as we go along. So one of the things I want to remind you is that when you're making a fresh wreath, you want to give working with fresh flowers, you want to give them a nice, sharp, long angle, because then they get, they can hydrate a lot easier. So we're going to go in, so what I want to do is I'm going to go in at an angle because I want some of the foliage to come over here. And I'm going to look for things that have a little bit of a bend in them. This foliage is from my forsythia shrub that I swear looks at me every time I walk by and goes, "Oh, not you again. Please, not you again," because I harvest a lot from those forsythia shrubs. Now, I'm also going to come down here, and I'm going to say something that might upset professional florists or folks with more design experience than I have. I am a gardener who loves to play with flowers. I love to share what I create as well. So I am not a professional florist. I am a flower farmer. I grow the flowers for florists. I play with them for my pleasure. So I'm going to see how this has a natural curve in it? I'm going to just put this so that that curve comes up here, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just going to stick that right in there. Well, maybe we're going to put this a little shorter of the stem. Now, I know that you're going to ask me this if you're just joining in to this adventure. How do you keep the moss damp? The moss, I missed. I just come behind it while it's on the door. I take it off the door, and I missed it. When these are all faded, when the flowers are all faded, I take them all off. I take this wreath form, and I just re-wet it, and I refill it. Brilliant, right? I know. I know, because why would you not? So I'm going to do this really quickly. I'm going to probably come back and do some pudging here on the center. Now my wreath, I'm going to put my wreath like this on the door. So I have to come back. You're going to have to come back and, just remember, be 5 years old. Give yourself some grace to play, and forget you've ever checked out Pinterest, Better Homes and Gardens. You're 5 years old and you are playing with your flowers. Wherever you get them, I hope that you will get your flowers either from your own garden or from a local flower farmer near you. You know, get a bouquet of flowers and make one of these because they really are so simple and a pleasure. See, this has a natural bend in it. I'm just going to tuck that right into that moss right there after I cut the angle, the sharp angle. So I'm going to pause too to see if you have any questions in the comments. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay. We don't, not that no questions are good, but just wanted to double check. So now I'm going to add just a little bit more of the forsythia up here because I really want that to be full. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to add a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit into the edging if I can get it out of the bucket. My goodness gracious. There we go. And you know, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you that nobody else will might not say. Be messy with your workspace. That's a sign that you are having fun. Be messy with your workspace. Put this in there. See, again, a natural bend. So I'm going to have that kind of, sort of, follow. I'm not sticking to any rules, but I am following what the plants tell me. So we're going to stick this in here. Yeah, see, I keep forgetting my own rule. Make the angled cut because this is easier to insert into the moss and the frame. See that? Nice and easy. Strip your end of your stem and cut. And put some short stuff in here on the side. Strip it. Go. And yes. Okay, there we go. Put this in there. And you have to remember that when you're making your wreath, that you have got two movements. You have a wave coming down. See? So you want that wave. We'll see that when we're all finished. Just remember that you are 5 years old and you are playing with flowers. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't. This is just your imagination with your flowers running wild, my friend, running wild. Put this in there. Put this in there. Okay, and I want a little bit more pudge. My friend Jody at Sage Creek Flowers calls it pudging. Pudging the flower, the arrangement. If you have never been over to Jody's farm, Jody is just a wonderful farmer, so talented. I am eagerly looking forward to getting my hands on some of her beautiful sunflowers she grows. See, you can never have too many flower farming friends. The next foliage I'm going to put in is a native plant. This is clustered mountain mint, and if we had smell-o-vision, oh, it is the most wonderful smelling mint. It has like a citrus smell to it, and pollinators absolutely love this. So we're going to pudge this in a little bit up into here, and watch, it's going to give us some fluff. It's going to give us a little bit of drama. See that? A little bit of fluff. Just a little. And I like it nice and full because it makes a great filler. See how that fills up that space? And then I'm going to put one more in there because why not? You can't have too much of this. The funny thing is that when you put this on your door for the first, day or so, be expecting lots of bees to be visiting. You can make this as a centerpiece too. You don't have to put this on your door. You could make the whole round with the moss and just place it on your table. Or you can make your grapevine into one like a log and do it that way as well. So there's that. Now we're going to get into some flower fun. We're all done with our foliage. I'm going to show you what I mean when I say make a mess of it. Your work table, you want it to be messy. You really, really do. See, look at all the mess I'm making. It's so much fun. So let's see if I can do this. Yes, I am a proud member of the Flower Collective of Central New York. It's one of our buckets that I happened to grab this morning. So I'm going to put this like this and see, give you a different angle of how I'm making this as I go along. So these are also native hydrangeas that I'm going to put in there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put in more fillers. So my fillers for this are going to be some lovely Status. I'm going to put them in. You can see this is, I'm not going fast. For me, this is not fast. But if I were making this for someone for a custom order, which is the only kind of floristry I do, I only go by order because many of the stems that I use are native plants that pollinators need, and I don't want to cut them just to have them not enjoyed. So I'm going to put this over there. You can see I'm kind of putting these in at an angle. It's for your flowers, for making something like this. Make sure that when you pull them that you can dry them. Take everything out like you could do with the mountain mint, the Status, the cone flowers. They dry very well. So what I would do is when this starts to fade, I would pull the Status out, put it in a bundle, wrap a rubber band around it, and hang it in a dark, dry location. And I'm just going to stick these in there. And this is just for my pleasure. So I am just not being, if this was for somebody else, I would probably be really picky on where I was putting the flowers. But this is for me. This is just for fun. And I'm going to put just a little bit more because, you know, I love this purple. It just caught my eye in the garden today. And I'm just going to put this right in there. So you follow the stem the way your stems. I like to do that. It's fun to just stick them in there. And, you know, if they don't go in, just give them a good shove. Just give them a good shove. And put some more over here. Really simple. Just so simple to do this. The moss is well hydrated, so we don't have to worry about that. Next, we're going to put in some daisy fleabane, which I harvested this morning. This is an amazing plant for pollinators. I have a field of it because look, pixie dust. This is daisy fleabane. Isn't that lovely? It's so dainty. It has this beautiful movement. And like I said, I have a field of this stuff. So I think that when I have this on the door, I want that to be able to move. So we're going to put this stem up in here. Just tuck it in there, in the back. And remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. As long as your stems are in the moss, they're going to be perfectly fine. And you're going to get to the part in your wreath making where you're going to say, oh my gosh, this is the most ugly wreath I've ever seen. Don't critique yourself like that, Fun. Don't do it. It is the mess of progress. And like any good recipe, sometimes things get to the part where they're kind of ugly. They may look not like they're gonna because it's not finished. It's in the process. And when you see that, when I see that in my floristry or my art, the garden, I know that I'm onto something, and I get really, really excited. So this is the ugly stage. I am very excited. This, my friends, is Wild bergamot. Now, wild bergamot, if I were to cut this as a fresh flower for someone else, I would have them look like this little bud right here. See that little bud? See how it's nice and tight? It's just emerged. Just before this stage is when I would have harvested that. Oh, look, there's a bee. There's a bee. Oh, hello, buddy. I'm sorry I took your flower. But there's a whole field out over there. Um, anyway, so this is wild bergamot. It is a pollinator magnet, easy to grow, beautiful native plant. It is Monarda fistulosa. We're going to let this bee have what it wants first before we start cutting this up. Okay, and I want this to kind of look how that goes. Let's move this a little bit closer. There we go. Now you can see. Now you can see the wreath. I want this to look at that. Look how that pops. Oh, so excited. So when you grow a lot of native plants, you can harvest many of them, many kinds, as cut flowers. Here at the farm, I use a lot of Monardas for bouquet work because they will put out a second flush. But we have rules for harvesting. They are pretty strict rules, I must say. Do not harvest anything in the field that has a pollinator on it. As I fight with this motor, my goodness, that has a pollinator on it. We skip by because that's someone's breakfast. If it has a caterpillar on it, we don't harvest it. And we kind of give nature first dibs. Nature always, always, always gets first dibs. And that's why I have we just counted them yesterday, 400 anise hyssops on the tray, in wooden trays on the table, because we're going to harvest so much of it. So this one we're going to cut down. And you see the spot powdery mildew? That is not going to hurt your plants, by the way, in your garden. It's not going to hurt them. You know, you might not want it near some roses, but so here we're going to stick this in there. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, lovely gardeny look. Doesn't it look like a garden? I think it looks like a garden. I needed this because I'll tell you, yesterday was a humdinger. Oh, yes, last night, I'm not afraid to say it. I turned into a very mean pumpkin. And I went to bed early. I feel so much better. But I have a concussion. And I need to give myself a lot of grace. So here we're going to put this in. This is not a native plant. This is Lavandera. My first year growing it, and I love it. But it has been a little bit of a kook challenge to grow. So I have to find out its secrets, so to speak. What a mess I'm making. Wait till you see the mess. Look at this cute little bud. That's cute. So stick that in there. We're going to give a little bit of pink more pink over here. I want this to be a big cluster of pink. Okay, now we get to the fun part. Now we're going to put in some, oh, look who it is. It's the Rudbeckia sisters. Yay! The Rudbeckia trio. These guys were growing in the field right alongside where we just put some anise hyssop, and they were bent in the walkway. They were about to get trampled. And I said, oh no, not today, girls. Not today. So see that curve? I'm going to try to bring that curve and use it in the wreath. See, it's got this lovely movement to it. Let's see. Let's get this so you can see better. My goodness gracious. The wreath just keeps getting bigger. So I have to readjust this camera. I really need to get my camera skills. So there, see the curve? So we're just going to tuck her in so that we take advantage of that movement. Just going to tuck her in and let her kind of, whoops, bent the stem. Don't worry about a bent stem. Just recut it. Remember, you're 5. We're 5 years old and learning as we go along. And sometimes if the moss is too thick in a spot, you can make a little slit, and for something like a rudbeckia stem that's being a little delicate. And then we're going to put one over here so that she's tucked in and coming out. There we go. There. Nice. Very nice. There. See that? Super easy. Super fun. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to figure out our focal flowers, because at this point in the game, I tend to get a little carried away when I am creating, and things get very fluffy. They get a little out of control, which is great fun. But I want to make sure I can put this on my door. Because if I can't put it on the door, this is some aspen I found, and I don't know how it's going to go. I've never used it, never harvested it with it before, but I'm curious, and the only way to try is to take a piece of the plant, put it in your arrangement, and see how it goes. Not the end of the world if it doesn't work out. I'm going to put this, let's tuck this guy right in here so it can kind of give us some movement. I'm going to tuck him over here. See that? Look how that offers us some movement in the wreath. I want it to look like a garden, not, something out of a grocery store. I mean, you can use grocery store flowers, but I do hope that you'll find a local flower farmer near you and go grab a bouquet of flowers, fresh flowers, because they'll last a lot longer. 2, you'll support someone in your community to keep the lights on in their house, shoes on their kids' feet, kind of thing. Look at this guy. Look at this. This is early sunflower. Woo, so pretty. And yes, look, he has a nibble out of him. But this is a garden. This is to look like a garden. So I made sure to look for people that had, nibbles. Look, we need a little bit of yellow over here. So I'm just going to tuck him over there so he can peek at everybody. There we go. And let's do our purple coneflowers. Look at these guys. It's there. Cute. Look, he's got a little chum for chum. Little chum for chum. So we're going to just, I'm not even, look, if I put this like there, look how sweet. Okay, so we're going to cut the stem there. I'm going to show you this. So I cut the stem here. Now I have two that I can play with. So because this is going to go on the door like this, I want this coneflower to be peeking right there. So you can see if I were doing this for someone else, you can see how different it would be. It would be really, really different flower arranging. I can tell you that. It would be a lot more selective on what I was doing as far as who was going in the wreath. We're going to pop some foliage behind this guy, behind that coneflower. And this is, we're going to use some of this because I harvested. Look at this. This is Baptisia australis. Makes a beautiful, beautiful foliage. It likes to be mature. So in the spring, if you were to cut this, it would instantly, like within minutes, go limp. So you have to wait for the stem to kind of harden. So we're going to put this beautiful foliage behind this coneflower. So stick them into the moss. And again, if you're just popping on, to keep your foliage moist and hydrated, all you're going to do every day is you're going to mist the back of the wreath form. That's all. Here we go. So you can see how my wreath is getting out of hand because I'm just having so much fun. It is at the stage where you're like, oh, maybe I'm not doing this right. Push on. Ignore that inner voice. It's just something getting in the way of your creativity. Trust me. Just keep pushing on. As I push flowers in here. Just keep pushing on. He doesn't want to go in there for some reason. So we're going to cut in that stem a little short. Okay, there we go. And then I have lots of cone flowers, so different stages. So we're going to put this guy in there at an angle. When we get to the center here, we're going to start using things that are a little bit shorter. And it is perfectly okay to say, oh, maybe I should put this over there. Pull it out and put it somewhere else. It's perfectly fine. It's your wreath. There's no judgment. Somebody judges you on your wreath. You just tell them, it's mine. It's not for you. Okay, so there we go. Got some nice color going on. Now I have to put the queen of the party in there. There's 2 of them. So I have my 3. You know, a lot of times you'll see floristry will say, oh, 3 and 5s, odd numbers, which are really, really lovely. And it does work. Look at this. Look how that changes the wreath. This hydrangea. This is a smooth hydrangea. I'm just going to tuck her right in there. Makes this beautiful color. And I want another one. We're going to put one up in there. It has just way, way, way up in here. I'm going to tuck her in, up in there. There we go. So see how that looks like a garden? Can you see that? See how that looks like a garden? That's what we want. We don't want something looking like it came out of a Sears. Look, I'm going to age myself. A Sears and Roebuck catalog. I want you to have fun with your flowers and not worry about, oh, does this design look okay? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, so stressful. And I think that if you were to gift someone something like this, I will tell you, I know. I'm not going to say I think. I'm going to say I know. I know for a fact that your friend will just be delighted that you made something just for them with your own 2 hands instead of going to the store. That you said, I love you enough to make you something beautiful with my own 2 hands. We need a little bit more white, so I'm going to add some of the Orlea. This is Orlea grandifolia. I'm going to mix this in there really quick. Just going to pop it in so we have a little bit of more movement on this side. You see, I don't have a lot of movement on this side. So I want a little bit more, shall we say, whimsy. Need a little bit more whimsy. A little bit more whimsy up here. There we go. Stick this right in there. Really, really cute. Whoops, see? Now things are going to come out. They're not going to want to stay in there. So just keep sticking them in until they do. That's all. That's all you got to do. Don't stress over it. They're just flowers. They're just flowers. I'm going to put some more of these in there because I have to remember. My thing is that I make a lot of centerpieces. So I tend to forget it's not a centerpiece. It's going to go on a door. Now look, here's my family's favorite. These are snapdragons. Aren't they pretty? So we're going to put them in there. Just put them, tuck them in like this. And look how they, see how that kind of takes up that space, that little space that I had going there? And then I'm going to re-stick in that hydrangea. And look at that. No more spot. No more empty spot. Nice and easy. And we could use a little bit more yellow right in here. A little bit of sunshine right there with all that. And let's do one more hydrangea. Let's do a hydrangea right there. So it looks like a little, like you had a shrub of hydrangeas growing right there. Then, who else can we put in there, my friends? Maybe, oh, there's more lavandera. We can put that in there. There we go. If you are just joining me live, this is how I make a fresh floral wreath. Without any foam, wire, or plastic. It is 100% biodegradable. And again, remember what I said earlier, that if you need to make a slit with the scissors into your moss, you can, because it does make things a little bit easier. Not going to hurt anything. We need a purple coneflower down here, don't we? We do. We do. We need a purple coneflower sticking up right there in the center of everything, being a doll. We can fix this flower right there. And that's a reminder again that you can pull things out, pull flowers out, put them back in. It's not going to hurt anything. You could use a little bit of pink over here. And that's almost about it. I think I have some more pudging to do. But in general, that's about it for the most part. But oh wait, I stand corrected. Let's put a little bit of pink snapdragons over here. Right over in here to kind of pudge this up. Now I'm tempted to fill this area in. But I want to show you what I'm talking about. I was going to do one hydrangea up. We're going to tuck her up and in here. And look how that fills in now. It fills in beautifully. And a little bit more. I'm going to pudge this up just a little bit more after I'm done with our YouTube live. But I know I need some more foliage up in here, so I'll probably do that after. There we go. And let's do one more hydrangea. Why not? I know. Can you have too many hydrangeas? I think not. There, look how that makes that really pretty. Really, really pretty. Put this one up there too. This way, the cone flowers get a little bit of a break and some support as well. See, they get a little bit of support around that hydrangea. You can kind of pudge them in. All sorts of pretty. Okay, and that is it. So let's see what we have after all this fun stuff. Let's see if I can get my camera off of the tripod. Here we go. So, like I said, I still have some more pudging to do, but I think that she looks really beautiful. This guy doesn't want to stay in there, but I will take care of you later. So let's go see what our arrangement looks like on a door. Well, we'll see. Let's see. La 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 la. There is our wreath. Fresh flowers for days. Absolutely. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to post a picture of this in the comments below, and you can let me know what you think. I hope that you will go out into your garden tomorrow morning on Sunday and make your own wreath tomorrow. See what I said? You can always move things. You can always move things. When you stand back now and then from your wreath or centerpiece or bouquet, you'll always find things that you can kind of go, oh, let me move this a little bit. This wants to move this way. And that's perfectly fine. So this was just for my pleasure. Again, it is all finished. I'll probably come in and put some more things in, like some more mountain mint, which is this little guy here for fragrance. It's going to go on my door. Absolutely beautiful because it's for my pleasure. No judgment whatsoever. So I will make sure to post a picture of what this looks like on my door. I need to put a hook over there on my house because that would be really pretty. But this is all 100% natural. We'll see if we can find somewhere to put it. Maybe here. Okay, let's see. Will you stay there for just a moment, please? Here we go. Okay. So we're going to turn this like this, just like that. We'll see. Isn't that beautiful? There's lots of movement, super pretty, and just for you. So, and like I said, this is just a wreath for my own door. I can do whatever I want with it. It's not for a custom order like I normally would do. It is just what's in my bucket what inspired me as I walked the garden this morning. So it's just for me and nobody else, so there's no judgment. I just got to pretend, for about 35 minutes that I was 5 and got to play with my flowers. I didn't have to count stems. I don't have to think, do I have enough purple cone flowers? No, I just stuck them in wherever I felt they needed to go. And I wanted it to look like a wildflower garden, which I think it's pretty wild. Isn't that pretty? Everything together. Now, when these flowers start to fade, I'm going to dry, like I said earlier, I'm going to dry the statice. These are statice that I've grown in the garden. I'm going to dry those. I'll probably dry the mountain mint. I will definitely dry the hydrangeas. And I will take the form, the basic form, the wreath form here that has the moss in it. See the moss? If you're late joining us, there's moss under there. I will take that wreath form and I'm going to dip that in water, let it soak, and I'm going to make another one. See? Super, super easy. Now I'm going to put this somewhere out of the shade, out of the sunlight, away from any fruit. It's actually going to go on my door. But you could see where this would make a stunning centerpiece. If I had done the whole wreath, or if I had done like a straight table runner here on the table, look at how beautiful that would be. I could put a candle in the middle with like a hurricane lamp around it, and it would just be such a stunner. And my friends, when I brought them over for tea or for dinner, would just enjoy it and ask me how I grew all this stuff. And we would talk gardening. We would share a couple laughs. We would enjoy the Orlea grandifolia and saying silly plant names. And it would just be so beautiful. I mean, look at this thing. Just gorgeous. How much fun is that? So have a go. That's what this video live stream is about today. Have a go. Go out to your garden. That's my garden over there, part of the meadow walk. I went out there. I picked whatever gave me pleasure that there wasn't a bee on. Like these hydrangeas over here. This is where the hydrangeas came from. Look at them. They're gorgeous. Look at these. They're perfect for picking. They're about to, and they'll dry beautifully, and I'll put them on my Christmas tree. The ones that I put in the wreath. This is where they came from. They grow on new wood. They'll make more. But that wreath, look at this. I can't tell you how much fun this was. Just have a go. Go out to your garden. Pick, 30 to 50 stems of whatever suits your fancy. Just make sure there's not a bee on it. Ask permission. And then put it together in a vase or a wreath form, anything. You could even put it just in a simple juice glass. And just enjoy and have fun like you're 5 again, my friends. It will do you good. And your family and you get to look at flowers these will last for over a week. I'll mist that moss and keep them hydrated. And then I will start the whole process all over again. Oh, and probably about 7 to 10 days, I'll get to play again because I'll have to fill the wreath form. Super easy, super fun, and just a great way to chill out for the day. Highly recommend it. Until next time, I hope you'll visit my website, lazydirtflowerfarm.com. If you like this on-the-cuff video about how to make an eco-friendly wreath and you want to see more, put some notes in the comments. Make sure you hit the bell icon here on my YouTube channel and subscribe so you don't miss another live or some of my gardening videos. Thanks so much for joining me on this beautiful Saturday in my garden. I wish you a lovely, lovely evening and a beautiful weekend filled with flowers and pollinators. Cheers to you. Bye-bye.